Yes?
What do you do with the body's complaints against the daily schedule that you determined?
I just got myself accustomed to it. If it's written in my schedule, I have to do it. I have to. Must. This list, I remember with Rabash. He had this small notebook. I don't know, it must have cost him half a shekel at the store. And he would write down there things. Or maybe to say something during the lesson. Sometimes he would say, oh yes, and then he would write it down. Or he would write instructions for me to buy cheese, bread, things like that. Everything was written down. He had a very clear schedule. Very clear. Down to minutes. He was 80 years old. And everything was in order. When he gets up, when he goes to sleep, when he goes for a walk, when he eats, what he eats, everything. There was nothing left for chance. If it were only up to him, he would be like a machine. Corrected machine. Yes.
What does it give you?
Then I don't think about it. I have to do things in this life? I do. So I write them down and then I do it. That's it. How I fill up the time. This is already my work. With what intention, what quality. But the schedule has to be, it's not like you can't make any changes. There are all kinds of reasons and things that don't depend on you. But from the very beginning, a person has to do this, a plan. Here, we don't see this. In our group, we don't see this. And I see this as something very bad. No one fills out the work form of what he does. This already indicates that he is just working according to his state of mind, in most cases, for the most part. I'm talking about factory workers, not to mention others, because actually everyone has to do it. Yes?
From a different direction, he says that if you feel taste in the work, meaning if the body enjoys it, you have to be careful.
Yes.
Why?
Because how do you enjoy? You enjoy and you will to receive. So you're already biased.
Yeah, but at first he writes that the pleasure is the basis for faith.
Yes, in order to rise above the pleasure and achieve faith. Faith is the opposite of pleasure. Pleasure, we normally think of as pleasure from reception. Faith is pleasure from bestowal. It's still pleasure. There's no such thing as... Whatever you say, you have to translate it into pleasure or pain, or lack of pleasure. Pleasure or lack of pleasure. That's all you have. You have the will to receive and the filling, the satisfaction. That's it. And this is what you have to come down to if you want to understand what is happening.
So, you have to experience resistance on part of the will to receive in everything you do on the path.
No, you don't have to fight it. You have to look for the pleasure in bestowal, satisfaction from bestowal. Otherwise, it seems to you like spirituality is one big suffering, and it's not. Spirituality is pleasure, but from bestowal and not from reception. This is called acquiring a second nature.